Hi, welcome back to the podcast or my YouTube channel. I've got both. And you're watching or listening to Reverse MS, where I teach people and give lots of information on how to reverse MS holistically. Yes, it's possible. And your doctor doesn't tell you this, unfortunately, but it's true. I've done this over 10 years ago now, and I've helped many people do the same. And in fact, if you want to get inside my community and heal the quickest way possible, just go to my website at nourishyourway.com and hit the Join the Community button. Inside, you're going to find over 75 people in there that are doing the work, that are on their way to reverse MS. And inside, I have a 12-week program that people go through. And I have group coaching sessions and lots of other information that's at your disposal. So let me get on to the subject today, because today is a really important episode. And today I want to help you break through the fear, decode the language of the body, and step into the deep truth that healing is possible. And this is your natural state. We are not meant to be sick. So the topic today can completely shift your view on your journey. So if you or someone you love has been diagnosed with MS, you know how heavy those letters M and S can feel. You might have a list of symptoms, you're told your body is attacking itself, and you're often left powerless. And then your doctor gives you options by giving you a list of medications that he wants you to start. And I want to let you know that you don't have to take those medications. In fact, I heal my own symptoms without any medication at all. And long-term medication for the body is not healthy. And the reason that you might have side effects from medication, it's your body talking to you. It's your body saying, I don't like this medication, so I'm going to start giving you side effects to tell you so. So let's get back to your MS symptoms. What if all of your symptoms are not happening at random? What if every single physical symptom is actually a biological response? And this would be a message from your subconscious. And it's your subconscious mind trying to adapt to emotional stress. So today I'm talking about the top 10 symptoms that somebody with MS might have. And we're looking through these with a powerful lens. And this is called German New Medicine, or GNM. And I have done a podcast and YouTube on this subject before. So if you want to go back and listen to episode 198, or you can go to my YouTube channel and find the video that I did on GNM and what it means for multiple sclerosis. So German New Medicine was developed by a doctor by the name of Dr. Ryke Geerd Hamer. He was German, and his framework teaches us that physical symptoms often track back to specific emotional shocks or subconscious conflicts. So we're going to unpack the emotional baggage behind these 10 symptoms. And these symptoms are the most common found in MS patients. So today we're going to talk about how to take that information and combine it with everyday holistic action, from changing to what's on your daily plate, to reconnecting with nature, moving your body intentionally, and cultivating a mindset that refuses to believe that you cannot recover, because healing MS 100% is absolutely possible, and you can do it. So grab your favorite healthy drink and let's shift your perspective from fighting disease to healing each individual cell. Okay, so let's start with symptom number 1. And the symptom shows up 80% of the time with MS patients. And this symptom is numbness and tingling. And this was actually my first symptom that showed up for me. I was 28 years old when this happened. You might feel pins and needles. I know I had these in my feet. So when I was walking, it felt like my feet were asleep and it was very uncomfortable. And then I was numb from the chest down. And then my hands were numb. So some of you might experience numbness maybe on one part of your body. You might just have numbness in your legs or your hands or your arms or your feet. But this is a symptom that's really common. So in German New Medicine, this symptom means that the skin and the nerves are linked to a separation conflict. So I want you to ask yourself, where and when in my life in the last 3 to 6 months did I feel like I was cut off from somebody that I loved? So maybe you had a breakup with somebody, or maybe you moved to a new area and it was a brand new space for you and you didn't have family or friends nearby. Or numbness and tingling can also mean that it's your body's way of desensitizing yourself from somebody who might be touching you in a way that you don't approve of. And it does this so that you don't have to feel any physical pain. So think about this. Are you feeling isolated? Are you feeling lonely? Are you missing somebody? So when I felt this numbness and tingling, I had just moved to a different state and I had just broken up and we didn't call each other boyfriend and girlfriend, but we had a very close relationship and we had just broken ties. And I didn't have any friends or family nearby me. So I know exactly what happened when this symptom came up for me. So what happened to me by accident at the time is these feelings of numbness and tingling did dissipate within about 30 days. Now, I didn't know what I did back then, but I do know what I did today. And that's because I shifted my attitude, because I remembered calling my mother on the phone and telling her that a doctor had just told me that if he can bet on it, that I had MS. And I was distraught and shocked, of course. But my mother said, we don't know if you have it for sure yet. So just live your best life and we will track it. So let's see how you feel in the next 30 days or so. And so I went back to work. I tried to be as happy as possible. I tried not to think about my symptoms. And I know that I did shift my mindset and I was happier and my life started to shift in positive ways. So this is why those feelings lifted for me. So symptom number 2 is vision or optic neuritis. This is blurry vision or double vision or a temporary loss of sight in one or both eyes. And this is scary. I know that the second time around for me, when I was 45 years old, this was the second symptom that came up. And I developed a blind spot in my left eye. And then I went to the eye doctor. The eye doctor told me that I could have MS. It's a longer story, of course, that I've told many times, but this is when I was diagnosed with MS. So when you have vision loss, according to German New Medicine, it's all about what we see or what we're afraid to see. So this eye conflict stems from a fear of behind you conflict or something that completely caught you off guard. It's something that you didn't see coming. It can also represent an emotional conflict around a visual reality in your life that feels too painful to look at directly. When you work on feeling safe in your environment again, your visual nervous system can begin to regulate and calm down. So again, when you resolve that conflict, you can heal your eye issues. Symptom number 3 is severe fatigue. And man, I sure had severe fatigue. I just wanted to sleep all day long. And this was about a couple of weeks after my diagnosis. I remember getting that 3 to 4 day drip of that steroid, and my body actually rebelled against it. I know steroids do work for some people, but my body did not like it at all. And so what happened is it gave me a major migraine headache, and then fatigue started setting in. And then a bunch of other MS symptoms started showing themselves. And MS fatigue isn't just being tired after a long day. It's an overwhelming, bone-deep kind of exhaustion where you just don't have any energy. So through the new German medicine lens, fatigue often happens when someone is in a self-devaluation conflict or is trapped in a constant state of fight or flight. So think about it. So if your psyche feels like you've been running an emotional marathon, trying to prove your worth, holding up everyone else's world, or constantly feeling I'm not good enough, your nervous system eventually shuts down. So fatigue is your body saying, stop, you cannot run anymore. It's time for you to rest and heal. And I think I went through that self-devaluation phase. So number one, I couldn't believe I was diagnosed with MS, and I know how I felt. I felt shameful. I was in a dark, strange place, and I'm sure many of you know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to move on to numbers 4 through 7, and these hit at the core of our physical movement. So symptom number 4 is mobility and gait issues. And I'm referring to having difficulty walking, having balance issues, feeling unsteady, or having drop foot. So in GNM, German New Medicine, motor pathways and paralysis are deeply tied to a motor conflict, specifically feeling trapped, unable to escape a certain situation, or feeling like you can't keep up or that you cannot move forward in life. So think about this. Take a deep dive within yourself and ask yourself, was there a moment where I felt like I couldn't leave a job, I couldn't leave a relationship, or a life situation where you felt completely stuck? So when your brain registers, I can't escape, or I don't know which way to step, but it's tied to that physical hesitation in your legs. So I really want you to think about this. And this is probably the hardest thing that you might have to go through to resolve. Once you resolve this, it's going to be much easier for you to heal. And I don't know where you're at, but sometimes we have to make hard decisions so that we can move forward again. So I'm going to move on to symptom number 5, which is muscle spasticity and stiffness. And this is involuntary tightness or painful muscle spasms. So spasticity often occurs when the body is caught in a tug of war between wanting to move forward and holding back out of fear. It's the physical manifestation or emotional resistance. So it's your body telling you, I want to act, but it's unsafe to act. So it's your body giving you the signal that you want to act, but it feels unsafe to act. Okay, so we're going to move on to symptom number 6. This is bladder control or bowel dysfunction. So urgency, frequency, or retention is something that you might be going through. So according to GNM, this is almost always tied to marking territory or feeling that your personal boundaries have been invaded. If you feel like you have no control over your space or your life decisions, your body responds through a urinary system as a primitive way to reestablish control over your environment. Now, I've been told this too, that urinary tract infections could relate to feelings of fear. And also, if you have bowel movement problems, I want you to think of this. What am I holding on to? So constipation, for example, what are you not willing to let go of? And stress can be a big part of this. Okay, so symptom number 7 is vertigo and dizziness. And this is something that I had at one time as well. So this is feeling like the room is spinning or you're losing your footing. Dizziness reflects an emotional loss of balance. And this is a disorientation conflict. And this happens when it feels like the rug is being pulled from underneath you. And this can mean financially, emotionally, or relationship-wise, leaving you asking yourself, where do I stand now? It can feel confusing or put you in a state of feeling like you're in a whirlwind. Okay, so let's look at the last 3 symptoms. So symptom number 8 is chronic pain and an MS hug. That MS hug feeling is that tightness around your torso that feels like somebody's hugging you really tightly. Pain in German New Medicine shows up during the healing phase when tissues are inflamed or as a result of deep emotional constriction. The feeling of being squeezed tight or carrying heavy burdens manifests as a physical pressure around the ribs and the chest, literally feeling squeezed by life's demands. Okay, we got 2 more to go. Number 9, brain fog or cognitive fog, or sometimes it's called cog fog. So when you get brain fog, your brain actually slows the process down. It's actually protecting you because you might have a conflict regarding having to resolve 2 issues or more. Or it's also tied to intellectual self-devaluation. When you're constantly doubting your decisions, wondering if you've made mistakes, or you feel intellectually overwhelmed, it's your brain creating a buffer zone, slowing you down, giving your mind and your brain a timeout. This is your body's way of telling you that you need to slow down and you need to rest. Okay, so our last symptom is number 10. This is mood changes and depression. Oh yes, I had depression big time. Of course. Don't we all? Don't we all get depressed in some way when we get hit with a diagnosis of MS? So depression is the ultimate biological retreat. It occurs when the emotional weight of living in an unresolved conflict becomes too heavy. So it's a sign that your soul is asking for a complete retreat from the external world. And this feeling usually happens because you want to heal from the inside out. And there's nothing wrong with this. I just don't want you to stay in this state for too long. Sometimes we have to reflect on what's happening in our world and gently find solutions for ourselves. Okay, now hearing all of this might feel like a lot. You might be reflecting on moments where you felt trapped, cut off, overwhelmed, and in a state of shock. Why can this be a good thing? Awareness is where your power returns. Because here's the truth. Understanding your emotional root is not only just the spark, but it's the way for you to figure out how to move on, how to resolve your conflicts, and how to get back to your healthy self. So I want to give you 4 different ways to start turning your health around. So number 1 is working on your emotional and mental health. I want you to start doing the inner work. And this can look like journaling, meditation, therapy, somatic breath work, or GNM consultation is out there. It can actually help you pinpoint when and where you started actually feeling all these different symptoms. So ask yourself, what was going on in my life 3 to 6 months before I was diagnosed? What was happening in my life? What tragic things or what shocks was I going through at that time? I want you to start releasing the emotional baggage that you are not meant to carry. Number 2, I want you to start nourishing yourself with healthy food, whole foods. I want you to start reducing the inflammation within your body. I want you to treat food as medicine. I want you to prioritize anti-inflammatory foods and add foods to your daily meals that are nutrient rich. And these look like organic vegetables, clean and healthy proteins, healthy omega-3 fats, and then removing ultra processed foods. These are not healthy, and these will not help you get back to health very quickly. Number 3, I want you to do gentle and intentional movement. Even if you're in a wheelchair, you can move your body. I want you to start planning small motions that you can do and then graduate to bigger things. If you can walk, great. I want you to take a 20 to 30-minute walk every day. If you can lift arm weights, great. I want you to do this. Any kind of body movement is going to be helping you heal. And then finally, number 4, I want you to get out in nature as much as you can. I talked about how getting 20 to 30 minutes at least of sunlight on your body every day helps you reverse inflammation. Tree bathing, I want you to get out in trees as much as you can and foliage. I want to get your bare feet on that ground, whether it's grass, cement, gravel, sand, rocks, anything natural, because what you're doing is you're inviting those negative ions into your body, and it helps reduce your inflammation and it balances your body out. Okay, so there you have it. I want you to get your mindset in the right place that you can heal. Your body is not attacking you. It's only giving you signs and signals so that you can change your emotional well-being and physically change your habits. You got this. You can heal, and you can do it without medication. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me at nourishyourway.com, and you will hear from me or see me in the near future.